Welcome to the Daily Detox Podcast. I'm your man Dion J, and today we have back again good brother Tucker-Bey. Welcome back to the show, good brother.
Man, I'm happy to be back. Let's get it in.
Yeah, man. I was watching the Breakfast Club today, man, and I felt like I was sitting in that chair with Gary Owens, and he's explaining about how he's going through this divorce, and all of a sudden his kids stop talking to him, or he can't have access to his kids. It's just getting crazy, man. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, you recently been going through a situation yourself, and I mean, why is it that the kids decide to separate from the other parent as well as the spouse that's separating from the other spouse?
Great question. Well, part of the reason for that is you have, again, depending on which parent gets custody or which parent actually spends more time with the children, you will find that they have more influence. So what tends to happen is you have a spillover of emotions that sometimes run out of control to where that dominant parent, right, in the children's life has influence that can sometimes become toxic depending on what they do with that power. So in other words, okay, there's a divorce, there's a breakup, all right? It doesn't feel good. It's not like anyone is really looking forward to it depending on the situation, right? But the only weapon or recourse that the other person has who may have either full custody or full custody of the children's spirit life, is that person who.
But it seems like there's some brainwashing going on at the same time. And, just listen to him talking, you can feel the pain in his voice because he's like, man, he's trying to reach out through his daughter on Venmo because, when you send money to Venmo, it's like a social media platform where you can kind of communicate with people as well. Then he's trying to communicate with them on Cash App. And I'm like, man, he's going to the extremes and, to try to reach out to his child. And I'm like, wow, you were the father to your child for all these years. I mean, his kids are grown. They're like 20 years old.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden, the parents split. He's not dad anymore. He's treated like a stranger.
Well, let's listen.
Is this temporary or is it just?
It depends on the circumstances. Like for example, if he was once upon a time looked upon as being a hero, and now we don't know the circumstances behind his, the marital demise. We have no clue to what's going on, and so sometimes us as men, we got to be, really careful about, our image, man, because there are times when children look at you as a hero, right? And it takes one wrong turn, okay, to where, you bring scorn to the family, you bring embarrassment to the family, you bring embarrassment to mom, right? And the children, man, they take major offense to that. You see what I'm saying? So it may not even be a situation where mom is even influencing them. You just said something key. The children are grown. So they're able to make their own decisions based upon facts that they may have. You see what I'm saying? And so, of course, he may be hurt, but he may be hurt based upon something he created himself. So we're not even really sure until we get all the facts.
Well, I think listening to the interview, he talked about how he didn't really disclose that him and his wife were getting a divorce, and the kids found out through TMZ.
Oh, okay.
So there's like this embarrassment. Like your mom and dad, she goes to North Carolina A&T, so you don't know if the kids on campus heard it.
Yeah.
They know she's a celebrity, who her dad is. So you think that it's an embarrassment because of that situation where she's like, I don't want to deal with you altogether, or is it just?
It could be embarrassment, but then once you hear something like that, and it's shocking your chakras, right? Because it's not as if anybody prepared you for it. And this is the reason why, that this media game, man, is so dangerous. And if you are a celebrity, man, or not, you have to be very careful, man, when it comes to your personal affairs, because the moment something leaks out, you know what I mean, and it's no longer in the controls of your own hands. No telling what may happen as far as the pertinent aspects of the information goes, right? So here she is in school, right? Minding her business. okay? And whether she saw it herself, somebody may have come and tapped her on her shoulder and asked her if she's okay, and she's wondering, what are you talking about? And then realizes, wow, she's a celebrity for a whole different reason now, right? Dad is leaving mom, she calls mom, and then she finding out not only is it true, but there's some other circumstances behind the whole breakdown and breakup of the marriage, man. And now she's, teed off. You know what I mean? And so it's sad to see these things happen, man. But I'm hoping the best for the family, and I'm hoping that at some point reconciliation will be able to take place, man, and they can, at least put something.
You said
back
reconciliation?
Yeah,
with a black woman? Come on, bro. Black women don't reconcile anything.
Let me tell you something, man. Black women have been through a lot. Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
They don't. Listen. Let's unpack it proper. You know. You know what black women don't like about black men? They
I
don't
see your cape flapping.
Yeah, they don't. Well, I got two of them. I got two or three of them.
Cape flapping.
No, but we have to be fair with this.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Women don't like to see men, manifest their attributes. In other words, they don't want to see the femininity in us, man. They don't want to see us conduct ourselves opposite of what they may have saw or thought we were in the beginning, of a relationship, a friendship, a marriage, right? And so sometimes, man, when we don't perform, to the beaten drum that we presented to them, we have to be careful of our presentation, right? Because a lot of times that presentation, let's think about it. That presentation is the key thing, okay? That we hope as men draw women in, right? But we have to be clear, in reference to the platform we're presenting. Are we that platform full time? Is it a temporary approach? Okay, because once a woman decides that she wants to deal with you, she's dealing with you for a reason. And usually it is always predicated upon our presentation. The question is,
I don't know, man. I think this all stems back from slavery, bro.
Well, everything,
when the master came in and took her out of the bed, when she was sleeping with her husband, and basically, that situation emasculated the black man,
sure,
and she felt like she didn't have the protection that she needed, right?
But
because he couldn't protect her. So she's always felt like we can never be 100.
Let me tell you something.
There's a
lot to slavery, man.
Yeah.
That people really don't know. For example, there were a lot of uprisings. There were a lot of things that the black man was doing to defend his honor, his family honor, but they don't talk about those things, right? It's not as if that, every slave master that went into slave quarters and snatched the man's woman. A lot of them ended up dead when they did that. They don't talk about that. Okay?
Well, no, I get it. But I mean,
lots of them though. I'm talking about thousands of them. It wasn't as easy as people think. Okay, for them to control us. There was always a rebellious element there, always, like it is today, right? Okay, so we have to be kind of careful with that because past slavery, 100 years past, 200 years past, or however long. There's a time that came along to where we now have control of our household, right? We have control of our actions.
Not necessarily, man.
There's been a lot of truth that's been put out there for us as men to gravitate towards, all right? To refurbish ourselves as it pertains to our manhood, okay? And as it pertains to how we should protect and respect our women. And even speaking for myself, there had to be a rebooting process, even for myself, to begin to understand better and understand better, okay, what my roles and responsibilities are, okay, because I didn't quite understand that, okay. And the first thing that I used to do is whenever something fell on me, I looked to blame somebody else, right? So you have a blame festival going on out here where it's really unattractive for us as men to do that and partake in that versus looking at ourselves, asking ourselves some key questions, right? Number one, are we even capable of even taking care of a woman? Do we have all of our chips in order, right? Okay? Because if not, if you don't even have your finances in order, we shouldn't even be out there really engaging anyone, okay? What we should be doing is focusing on, especially if we're serious about trying to, build a family, we should look at all four corners of that family square and see and make sure, right, if we're capable of handling the business of that. A lot of times, listen, man, our women are burned out, man.
I don't know,
They
man.
burned out.
I think they get burned out because they feel like they can do it without us. And you know what? I had a conversation with a couple of brothers the other day, and we were talking about that movie Claudine, where that was the actually Kickstarter of the single mom and strong black woman, and I don't need a man because I can get a check from the government, and so why I need you?
Okay.
And I was like, man, that's it's deep, right? And then if you look at like other layers behind movies, such as Waiting to Exhale, where
on.
Angela Bassett,
Come on, Angela.
she destroyed her man's stuff because he didn't want to be with her anymore. He went with another white woman or whatever.
Okay.
And so she
slapping her face.
right, so she feels though that she can overly disrespect him, burn his stuff,
Okay.
and do all types of crazy stuff, right?
So let's talk about that. And then go
So,
back to the
and
other
even
thing.
if you look at all the characters in the movie, I mean, come on, you got Layla Rashawn who played the side joint. She had a baby by Leon, and he didn't want nothing to do with her or whatever, or he kind of, I don't know, it was a back and forth situation. She was like, well, look, I don't need you, and me and the baby don't need you, so you could just go on without you. So it's gaslighting these situations and conversations with black women that they've seen these different representations of other women explain about or narrate about or give a narrative about.
Okay.
I don't need a man. I don't need a black man. I can disrespect this black man. You
I don't know
know,
about that, bro.
or I can be the single mom,
Right.
which is the mom and the dad. Where like go back to the movie, you have one of the mothers was playing the father. She was babying her son and all that. It just goes on. The one that dealt with Gregory Hines, the black
Okay.
woman.
Got you. Yeah.
So Whitney Houston was a side chick. So like,
She's excellent. I love that role.
yeah. So if you look at all those characters in Waiting to Exhale,
Right.
that movie pretty much gaslit the whole generation of single baby moms like on a whole nother level. Claudine was like the
Okay.
precursor to it, and then that movie just took it to a whole nother level.
Okay.
I mean, what you think?
Here's what I think. See, this is what we do as men, and maybe the black woman has a role to play in it. And here's part of the role. We have to give her credit. She's very forgiving. There are men, and we all know, man. We all have been out there. We've done our dirt as men, and they actually spoiled us. You know what they spoiled us with? Forgiveness. Man, you could find black women literally everywhere who's given guys, regardless to what their education is, regardless whether they were street dudes, athletes, they've given us chances over and over and over and over again. To what? To experiencing the same thing over again. In the Angela Bassett situation in Waiting to Exhale, if you look at the beginning of the movie, all the way up to the atrocity, this guy had the nerve to go out there, okay, and cheat on her after she had been with him through thick and thin, okay? He was the one who initiated first blood by being disrespectful. Then you go out there and you get somebody else opposite of your culture, right? So of course she's hurt. Now, do I agree with burning his clothes? No, but I get it though, right? What's she supposed to do? Pack them up neatly in a box and give it to his monkey?
But that's a level of disrespect, right?
No, the level of disrespect is for him to go out there, lie and deceive this woman, embarrass this woman's name. Okay?
I think it's more than that.
But
most black women try to emasculate you to a point where
the emasculation comes from us not acting manly anyway. That was a punk move for him to do that. What's manly about this man cheating on his woman, let alone with a woman opposite of her own race and culture? What's masculine about that? What did he give her to continue to respect? First of all, who and what she thought he was, what he did disappointed the hell out of her. Okay? And this is what we as black men don't think about. The fact that we constantly stomp on their emotions over and over again, they have spoiled us to a degree with their ability to forgive and try to move on for us to continue to go back and do the same thing over again. Now, when she puts her foot down, here's the problem with us. We don't like it. You follow me? We don't like it. You know, now we say, well, she's being too masculine, right? Well, she has to protect herself. What the hell do we want our women to do? To continue to allow us to do what we've been doing, which is being unfaithful, right? Not handling our business. Witness bearer to that, right? Not maintaining things, whether it's financially, being consistent with keeping a job, right? Starting things, not finishing things. You know what I mean? Being prolific liars and deceivers. I mean, we have a hell of a history ourselves, okay? But our expectations of our women, and I'm gonna tell you why we're so mad. They have a long history of supporting us. That's a fact. And so they have shocked us psychologically by saying, look, I'm taking control of this whole system. You're not going to any longer come in here and do whatever you want to do. Okay? I'm tired of that. I've seen my mother go through that. I've seen my grandma go through that. I've seen my auntie go through that. I'm going through it. Maybe I made some mistakes, but she cannot continue to make the same mistakes for our raggedy asses, man. She can't. It's about manhood training one-on-one. First things we need to do is focus on building and developing ourselves, right? And the moment we do that and stop looking for the woman to be a part of that building block, right? Develop our systems to be able to take care of her, take care of a family, so that she could come in now and do her part from a feminine power base. Then you'll see a resurgence in the healthiness, if you will, of the black family. But we got to get back into our manliness, man, our man selves, and treat our women the way they need to be treated, man, with respect and love. We're not doing a very good job as men with that, and that's a fact. And I'll debate anybody who wants to come and talk about it. Let's go. Let's go.
Salute. Amen. Amen. All right, we're going to pause. I got to talk to my son.
Am I a little more hyper?
Yeah.